Hey, Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. We are doing some troubleshooting on our Torchmate 4400. We are on the very last test. This is video 3 of our little series where my son, who's going to school for this, is helping me troubleshoot, and we've narrowed it down to one last piece of equipment. So we're going to do another test, and we're following Lincoln's guide here. And I'm going to get in here so I can see your meter. So go ahead and...
I can kind of angle it for you.
Yeah, there we go. I've got it in the shot. Okay, so we are looking for a voltage of...
24 volts on pin 3 to ground here. So if I carefully check pin 3, so 23.8. So that's within spec. It's supposed to be
0.2 volts. Could be resistance in between the wires. It could be
within a volt-ish.
Yeah, aging power supply, something like that.
So from there, that seems healthy.
Okay.
And
so where does it say we're supposed to go next?
Right here, it wants me to jump pin 2 to ground and see if that makes IHS detect. So here we need to get a small bit of wire.
Okay, so let me...
Because my alligator clip's a little too big.
Okay, so we're gonna pause this. But in case I mess it up,
through the magic of editing.
Yeah, through the magic of editing. I'm going to pause this, but I'm always going to put an end because I'm not great at video editing. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you learned something. Ag Teacher Thoughts out. All right. Through the magic of video editing, we are back and we're conducting our last test. So while he's working on that piece down here, I'm going to go up here and we're going to look at the important thing. So this IHS, that should light up and turn yellow. Whoops. Uh-oh. Hold on. I've clicked off the screen that I need.
Oh. I thought you were going to say it was fixed.
No, it's not fixed. I fat finger touched something. Then let me bring that back. Okay. I fixed it.
You ready?
Hold on, let me camera steady. Yep. Go.
All right, so pin 2 to ground should tell us IHS it is detected. Anything?
No change.
Anything now?
No change. Okay, let me check up on the admin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Last try.
Yep.
Nothing?
Nothing.
And nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Darn. All right. Well, there you go. So, as the manual states here, if IHS it does not detect, then the AccuMove controller may need to be repaired.
So that is, point at that one right there.
That guy.
Okay. So I think at this point we're gonna go ahead and clean some things up here. We're gonna pause this, and then we're gonna bring it up for post-mortem on the table. Yeah. Because we got to remove it one way or the other. So let's go ahead and do that.
All right.
All right. Anyway, I hope you've been enjoying. Hope you're learning something. So we're gonna pop this back up on the table, and I'm gonna pause it, and we're gonna take a look at that controller. All right. So we've got our AccuMove VFC off, and we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of a post-mortem.
I know seemed like most of this guy was working, but one little bit wasn't. So that threw the whole thing off, unfortunately. So here, it's our guy. He's got a lot of wires. Let's see what I can do. Let me get a smaller screwdriver.
So let's do this.
Small enough? Oh no, you got it.
I got it. So I just moved it back to the side. So what can we see? Anything obvious?
I'm not seeing anything. Like, these are all pretty tight. I don't see any obvious corrosion. I don't know how this is looking on camera.
Well, here we'll get it. We'll get it a little bit closer.
So one of these guys is what we were hearing earlier. We would hit a switch on the admin section, and you would hear a click.
So one of the relays.
So it's one of these guys. I'm not seeing anything obvious. No loose cables. No, again, corrosion. This guy's on here tight. It may very well be something under this.
Yeah,
but we can't get under
that's, there. All right, you're going. So what do you think? What's your postmortem?
I don't spot anything obvious. It very well could be like a bad joint on one of these connections. It could be something dead in one of the chips. I can't spot anything. Connections all the way up to everything we have for IHS seemed fine. We got a lot of the voltages we'd expect out of this box. I'm not sure.
Could be just like one tiny surface mount component that's gone or something like that.
Something got old or something like that. And, well, it could also be the conditions this was in. I mean, it was in a fairly sealed box, but maybe some moisture got in here, wreaked a little bit of havoc. You won't really know you wouldn't really know unless you took the entire thing apart and you tested all the contacts like they would in the factory.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. But what I do know is this box isn't happy.
Okay. All right, well, we're gonna kind of look through a few more things here, but we've got things disassembled. We've got that removed. Like my technician said, it's going to be that box. So at this point, from here on out, it is me sending that off to someone else for either repair or replacement. Economically, I'd say probably replacement of that controller is probably the best thing. These Torchmate 4400s, I know that the school's had this one for a while and they've been outmoded and not supported. So this is, the first failure, which we worked on, was a wiring failure. And then this one is an electronic component failure. Kind of one of those things, like Elijah was saying, is electronics get old. They just start to fail. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things get picky.
Yeah, things get picky. Things start to die. Things get unhappy. So that's just kind of the way it is. So unfortunately,
just like how your car starts to get a little tired as it gets older, electronics get a little worn out as they age.
Yeah.
It's just a thing that happens with age.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it looks like this machine is down, unless we can get a repair part, is down for the rest of the year, unfortunately. But I thought this would be an interesting video, just for a chance for you to see kind of what I sometimes do on weekends, and kind of how diversified you got to be as an ag teacher. You never know what you're going to be working on. So thanks to Lincoln for the good troubleshooting guide, so we could go through that ourselves without having to bring in a tech for that.
And was that free?
That guide, yeah, it's available online.
Hey, good on them.
Yeah. So yeah, in the age of right to repair, it's nice to see that. Now they don't have anything for the schematic of the VFC, but at least we were able to go through and figure out, pretty well. And it wouldn't really matter if we had the schematic.
No,
it's
a thumbs up from me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're not gonna troubleshoot a circuit board. We're just gonna simply replace it. It could be any number of things that.
For an older unit, it's probably cheaper too.
Cheaper just to replace it.
Probably cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I worked for when I was back working in the factory, we had one of our machines go down, and it was a Morisiki vertical milling machine, and it was old. It was really old. I started working in the machine shop about 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. And that machine, even at that time, had been built in the age of Ataris. There were no replacement parts for it, and we had a circuit board blow up and go bad on it. And that was the only machine that ran the parts that we needed. And the factory would basically shut down without those parts, and we didn't have another machine to run it on that was programmed and good to go. So they had to send a board out overnight to be remade and repaired. And it was like, and this is like I think that was probably 2014.
around there.
Yeah, and it ended up costing them like $13,000 to have someone build a new board and overnight ship it to us. I think it took a day or two for it to get to us. And then the machine ended up having a large, massive mechanical failure, broken gears, like broken cast gears. So they ended up having to actually fully replace it, but not after they'd spent like, well, between all the hours of the repair techs, like 20 grand to go through it. But anyway, that's kind of the way it goes with machinery. Nothing lasts forever. Stuff needs to get repaired. But the awesome thing is that we've got young people like Elijah here that has decided to go into this for a career. So, in the future, you might see him wandering around a factory or some sort of business working on your robots or your computers or any of your equipment. So this is definitely what he's doing. So what'd you think about today?
A little bit of troubleshooting tech. I mean, the linking guide made it incredibly easy. I'll be honest, it wasn't a ton of thinking. It was just kind of hook up wire here and see if it gives you a signal. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I kind of enjoyed it.
Better than shooting in the dark and not knowing what you're checking.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. It at least gave me a little bit of documentation to go off of. So yeah, pretty fun.
So anyway, that's probably it for us for this video series and for us this weekend. We're gonna go catch lunch, wrap things up here. But as always, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I hope you learned something. Ag Teacher Thoughts out.